Welcome to the 2014 edition of the 90 Degree Show, hosted by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. And here's your host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
Good evening and welcome to the 90 Degree Show. I'm your host, Joe Beard, and happy to be of service for you tonight. Today is October 26, 2014, 5 o'clock on the West Coast and 8 o'clock on the East Coast. We appreciate all those listening live and listening in podcast form, whether through Blog Talk Radio, our website, Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, or whatever you may be listening to tonight or whenever in the future. At the end of this broadcast, if you decide you like the show, then we appreciate a donation to the network, if you feel so in your heart, of course. Just simply go to themarchingpodcast.com and click on the donate button to help improve the show and help build our scholarship fund. We are excited to bring you the show tonight because tonight is one of the greatest rivalries in all of college sports. That is right. That is the rivalry between Southern University and Jackson State University. Heated rivalry across all sports and across everything. And like I said, one of the greatest rivalries in all college sports, the SWAC nationwide and galaxy-wide. This is my favorite matchup because it's the most memorable. While I marched, my father marched in the band, and funny enough, every bandsman seems to have a Southern story or like a FAMU story. So we're excited to bring you the matchup tonight. Excited because there were a couple of extra festivities going on for the weekend. There was an extra Battle of the Band on Friday, our usual Saturday matchup that was fully expected, full of the ticket, value of the ticket, as they say. I was just excited to see the video, and hopefully a lot of you people that were there can call in tonight, 718-664-6025, and tell us the mood or the atmosphere, everything that was going on. We will announce the winner from voting our last week on our Word on the Street here and continue to talk about Boombox for the night. Now, there are multiple matchups every week, and we can't test them all. But you can help us by calling into the number that you see there on your screen and fill us in on your experience and the matchup we did not see. You can go into the chat room. You can call us to correct us and tell us something or explain the feel of the crowd at the game that we're analyzing. Or even if you agree with what you are saying, please call in and do so. This is a show for the people, and just like science, we want our show to go through as much peer review as possible. All right? So we're really excited about the show tonight, really excited to talk to you guys about the matchup. I think we see Rashad, our man from Block Band Music and Publishing, to come in tonight. We learned from him last week that folks can call in and actually listen through the phone. They don't have to press 1 to actually get into the host. However, I may not know that and may bring you on the air. So just in case you guys are listening through the phone, there could be a possibility where I could call in and say, hey, what's going on? And it's all good, just to be prepared. I won't cut you off or anything. I'll let you continue to listen. But just a precautionary thing. Some folks do listen through their phone. And, just in case you don't want to be on the air, I'm just letting you know. All right. So let's go ahead and get into a little bit of the show tonight. Our format of the show will get into the People of Choice Awards winner for last week. Go to our website and vote on the matchup, marchingpodcast.com, and we'll read the results of the winner. I'll bring in Rashad, and we'll talk about the Friday Battle of the Bands. We'll talk about the zero quarter. The lines are open for you to call in. And the second segment, we'll talk about halftime. And we'll talk about the fifth, depending on, how big that segment goes or whoever calls in. Last segment, we'll do our Word on the Street, just talk about some of the comments we saw on the web from the Boombox this weekend. and we'll read some of those, and we'll see, if we have some connections there throughout the video. They were claiming a hashtag Friday night, I think Boombox, BOTB, so we'll get on Twitter and try to get a hold of some of those as well. Again, like I said, you are welcome to call in and 718-664-6025 and spread the word tonight. And I'm sure we'll have Rashad on the show tonight later on. So that's the format for tonight is Boombox 2014. Let's take our first commercial break. You can email the show at marchingpodcast@gmail.com, tweet us at marchingpodcast, or follow our blog, blog4.themarchingpodcast.com. If you are listening live and have a Blog Talk Radio account, you can listen and scroll down to the bottom and log into our chat room. See a couple of folks in there. Welcome to the folks in the chat room. Thank you for being there. Last and definitely not least, check out the marchingpodcast.com. Let's take the time to hear from our beloved sponsors tonight. Tonight's show is brought to you by Liquid Effects Photography, Block Band Music and Publishing, and two of the videographers that filmed this weekend. We actually saw both of their tape for the analysis tonight. Our man Garrett Edgerson from the Edge One Productions, who was unable to be on the show tonight. He always follows up doing his shows, especially when we talk about Southern. He's like our Southern voice, but they are doing the Saints game tonight. So he'll be unable to attend tonight. And also our man Gerard Howard from from bandhead.org and hbcubands.com. Funny enough, looks like they were all in their little press media area there. And like you saw Gerard there on the sideline next to his camera through like one of Garrett's videos. So it's cool. As much love out to you HBCU videographers out there. I love the little fraternity you guys have kind of claimed, and doing much love. Appreciate what you guys do, because like you said, he allowed me to keep up what's going on, and also kind of spread the word out here on the West Coast about what we like to do. So tonight's show is brought to you by all those beloved sponsors. Let's take the time to hear from them now.
Hello, this is Dr. Joel Beard, Jackson State alumnus, 1966. I march in the Jackson State Marching Band, which was then called the best band in the land. And you are now listening to the 90 Degrees Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
Having an anniversary party, birthday party, or better yet, you're about to marry that special someone? Liquid Effects Photography is the perfect choice to immortalize all your most special moments. With 10 years of dependable professional service that can deliver from the conventional to the best in cutting-edge technology and creativity. Come experience the uniqueness of Liquid Effects Photography. We serve the entire upper Midwest and will travel further upon request. Come check us out at liquideffects.com. That's LIQUIDEFFEX.com. Or call us at 773-454-5556. That's 773-454-5556.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Chopping It Up is a podcast of one-on-one interviews with positive role models that have a connection through music and or education. Chopping It Up is all about inspiring our youth for a great future and providing a roadmap on how to get there. We also chop it up to give insight to anyone looking for information or hope in their endeavors. Chop it up with us on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com/marchingpodcast. Chopping It Up, changing the world through positive interaction.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Hey, it's the Edge One, Southern University's Class of 2013 graduate. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
We're back for our first commercial break, and that was the Sonic Boom bringing us back with a little bit of "You're Sending Me Swinging." They played that during the fifth quarter. Really excited about this weekend. I can't really excited enough to really get into it, but that song was just an example of how excited I was because it was pretty crunk. I'll go ahead and bring in our man Rashard. What's going on, Rashard? How you doing tonight?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Oh, man, I'm doing all right, man. Had a lot of film to check out for today.
Man, there's a lot of stuff going on, brother. I've been looking for the FAMU A&T stuff, though, on the 5th. I didn't see it on I didn't look for it on YouTube yet, but I was able to see the fifth quarter between A&T and FAM myself.
Okay, that's excellent. I wish I would touch base with you before I did the little thing for the show. I would have put that out there. But we definitely have time for that. I just kind of stretched tonight's show out over for the Boombox, but I'm sure, if we got folks calling in, we still have that time to talk about both or to talk about all. It's just kind of the culmination, so to speak, of so many great bands and how, we definitely need the media coverage out there. If we had the money, man, we'd have like a camera post in each event. You know what I mean? And then
when we get the money.
Oh, that's right. When we get the money, we're gonna have the camera posting at each event, folks with little jackets on or a little uniform on, and we'll be able to have all the footage because there was just so many great competitions going on this weekend. Another thing that kind of hurt me too, and I'll get into it a little bit, but let me open up the voting so I can read the winner for our Marching Podcast People's Choice Awards. It was another good matchup, really kind of, sort of. But in all, of course, the voting will tell us what it really, really was. I don't expect it to really be close, but there were a lot. Of course, Howard comes with those votes. You got a lot of proud Howard alumni out there. So, it wasn't like last week, where it was just 100%. Or no, it was 50%. That's what it was. It wasn't 100% total wipeout, but it was 50%. But I'll go ahead and open that up. But yeah, man, there were so many great matchups, and I cannot. We can't touch them all, but hopefully some people will call in to speak for us. But yes, with 93% of the vote, I guess that was high enough as far as what we know. I got flipping back and forth between so many things.
That was a landslide victory for Howard, wasn't it?
Of course, I'm picking up the sarcasm in your voice. Let me do the drum roll. I forgot. We got our sound. Let me go ahead and put out there, we need a sound technician guy to do all of this stuff while I'm talking, so I don't have to go between tabs and all that stuff like that. But the winner with 93% of the vote, again, was Florida A&M, topping
What?
Howard. Yes, it was. So we'll go ahead and give them the props. Give Florida A&M the props. I touched base with our man John Lennard this week. He was laughing when I said Hubba. So Hubba y'all, Hubba again, because FAMU won. Because of course it was a close battle there with Howard, especially there in the fifth. Yes, we're joking. And, of course, I got to scroll down to be funny because the little drum fill thing, it's always like 3 or 4 seconds late. But it's all good here on the Marching Podcast. Glad to have you on, Rashad. Especially this week, man. I talked to you this week and I was telling you, man, I think I'm starting to develop your ear, starting to really understand what you're talking about, especially when we're talking about these two story programs. Right quick, I see a caller here we got in the call queue. I'm going to get to you, person from the 757 area code. Just let me say this right quick to the athletic directors or whoever it was from the SWAC. I don't know why, but how did the Magic City Classic and the Boombox Classic get scheduled on the same weekend? I hope it's not, anything that just had to be done, but I really felt that the SWAC cut the heads this weekend. For all you Spades players out there, we lost some money this weekend, especially with the extra footage from the Battle of the Bands with Jackson State and with Southern. We definitely cut our heads because, I definitely wanted to see Bama and Alabama A&M, Bama State and Alabama A&M. And, the Magic City Classic is another story matchup. But then having it with the same weekend in the Boombox, man, you really won the hand. You weren't paying attention to the board, or you just really don't know how to play that much. But you definitely threw in a spade in there when I won the hand already, and it kind of hurt me a little bit when I saw that. I'm sure we'll catch up and we'll see what happened and we'll fill in. But just like Rashad said, when we have the cameras and all that, I guess it really won't matter to a certain degree. But definitely, there was a lot of money, especially all those HBCU videographers out there traveling in certain aspects. People really had to pick between those two, and it's hard to turn down Southern Jackson State no matter who you are. Let's go ahead and get to this caller here, 757 area code. Caller, you on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from tonight?
Hello.
Hello. What's going on? How you doing tonight?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing all right. What's your name and where are you calling from tonight?
My name is Manuel, calling from Suffolk, Virginia.
What's going on, man? I saw the 757. I was wondering if you was out there from Virginia. What matchup did you see this weekend?
I saw a couple clips from the Boombox Classic battle.
Okay.
And I was also searching for something between A&T and Florida A&M, but I really didn't find much.
Rashad, where did you found the fifth, right?
No, I was there at the end of the game, so I did see that.
Okay, so that's even better. You saw it. Yeah, man, I haven't seen clips of anything other than the boom. Of course, because we know Gerard and we knew they were going to be putting that stuff up there, Gerard and Jared. Other than that, though, did you see some of the clips from Boombox? I think you said you did. What did you think? Yeah. What did you think overall about what you heard between the two bands?
I was satisfied with both band performances. I was really satisfied. It was very entertaining. I thought that Jackson, they did a really good job. I was expecting more for them, though, especially from those trumpets. I saw in a lot of those comment sections, people were dogging on their trumpets. I don't know what happened, but that needs to be worked out.
I hear you. Anything about Southern?
Southern, those arrangements. Oh, my God. Those arrangements were clean. I love their cutoffs, how they end the songs. Those were great. Really bright arrangements, even though I prefer a little darker sound in bands. It was really great.
Yeah, I was wondering myself about some of the ranges. I guess some of them are special. I think the one that jumped out at me the most was the Spodioti Dopalicious Angel, the Outcast
yeah, that was
joint.
flawless.
Yeah, I hated that. That was horrible. Like, I mean, like, it's supposed to be a cool, laid back, so we could kick back, you could blah, 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 too, you know what I'm saying? And that was like a mix between anger and rage or something. And then they got louder with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm supposed to be chilling on that song, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was just a difference of that. What did you think,
you're supposed to be marinating on that song.
Yeah, Southern was getting crunk. They was mad. They were slapping people around on Spodio. You know what I'm saying? But that's what's up. Now, are you in high school, man, or are you attending?
Yeah, I'm a high school man.
Okay, that's what's up. Now, are you march? Do you march yourself?
Yes, I'm a drum major at Nansen River High School.
Okay. At what high school now?
Nansen River High School.
Okay, all right, man. Well, hey, man, we proud to say we got the good drum major on here. Let me give you some props. Thanks for calling in. We definitely, actually, while you on the air, man, we were just talking about Dr. Thomas a couple weekends ago, Dr. Thomas Rashad, and he was just talking about, we were doing the Chopping It Up series with so many folks, our peers. He was saying that, we should definitely be hearing from more some of the kids, some of the students there in high school, and our high school shows do the best as far as like our ratings go. It's always more high school listeners out there listening, junior high listeners. So, man, hey, man, we appreciate you calling in. We're going to get into our analysis, but definitely go ahead and leave your information if you can, like tweet us or email the show, and we definitely want to contact you so we can, do your interview. We can chop it up from the jump major. You know what I'm saying? Are you a senior, or what's your classification?
I'm a senior.
Okay, so all right. So where are you planning to go to school, if you don't mind us asking?
Well, my top two priorities is Tennessee or Jackson State.
Okay, Tennessee State?
Yeah, Tennessee State or Jackson State.
Okay, all right, man. Well, hey, man, we know the folks, we know the people, so we'll definitely be getting in contact with you, man, and we'll slip your name around, because, that's what we do here in our craft. We'll definitely let you know, and, we try to get you audition, whatever we can to help you out. But we appreciate the young brethren calling in on the show tonight. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
718-664-6025. Love to have the people to call in. We definitely want to take the brethren's their suggestion, start hearing from more kids, more students here in the area, and hear about their experiences, as well as hearing from the old folks like Rashad and myself. Let's go. Well, look, we got another caller from the 504 area code, the 504 boys. Caller from the 504, give us your name and where you calling from tonight.
We got
caller,
another one of them.
I know, caller, are you there?
Did you mean to call in?
Yeah, they might have 504. My bad, 504. I don't know. Blog Talk Radio. If you are listening, please upgrade it so I know if these people want to listen. I could just imagine somebody. It's like your old lady was Rashad. Okay, yeah, he may just want to be. Okay, you can chill 504. It's all good. I'll let you stay out there.
Why's it got to be an old lady?
Oh, my bad.
That's my that's my young girl right there.
Young girl, my bad. That's that's a little bit of that old term still stuck with me. I heard old lady so much when I was at Jackson State, and I was like, who is that? You talking about your mom? And it's like, no, that's my girl, dog. So I was like, well, my bad. And a couple of years later, I heard it so much, I can't get it out of my brain, man.
She gave you the people's eyebrow,
My bad. Younger, full, wonderful woman of York, PA. My bad. So let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and get into it. Well, just let me say right quick, man. I really enjoyed the Battle of the Bands that came in on Friday night. Really excited, and just props to whoever had the idea and whoever made it come into fruition, as they say. I love the stands, and I love to see those matchups, and I really like to listen to these battles, especially when I'm at work or doing something in the background. But definitely mostly like showing them to my kids. Now they done started marching around the house, so I done got them in early, so that's all good. But as far as the matchup goes, I got to say I wanted to see more of the boom be the boom, and probably not what we created probably in the last 20 years or so. We definitely crunk, and we definitely coming with some intensity and some sound, but we losing some of that musicality and some of that cleanly articulation that puts us on the map and breaks us apart from all the bands in the galaxy, so to speak. No one's gonna outblow Southern. And what was really interesting, you and I both talked about it, Rashad, already, was the fact that it was gonna be like indoors and how, what they were gonna do with that sound. I think it was kind of like the rain in a football game, and how like the weather can eliminate the speed. I really thought that in a closed setting, both bands are gonna be loud, so how good you sound, or maybe the quality of your sound, is gonna come out more. So I was thinking, once the band started to go, who I could hear maybe play a little bit, maybe chords, maybe some type of progression or something that I could hear to be like, oh, that's nice, I can understand it, that sounds good, you know what I'm saying? Because, of course, Southern was just coming with just mass brick mania. I mean, it was just so loud, very meshy, but that's normally them. And I think maybe some of the indoors maybe took some of that away, some of the articulation or some of the cleanliness Southern may have. I think it took it away. However, the boom should have been shining more in that environment. But I think, we are falling in love with the park and blow syndrome, just like, Dr. Davenport was talking about. And, so it was too close. I saw a lot of people on the internet talk about, oh, Southern got them, man. They had a tailor-made A-whooping and blah, 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 this and that and all this other stuff. And I was like, man, we were playing into their game. That's what I kind of felt. Don't get me wrong, like, we sounded good, and I think, we were competing along with them. But, I didn't hear any marches. I didn't hear really anything to throw the range of musicality at Southern in that environment, or just like you saying, Rashad, breaking up some of those parts, because just like my man was even calling in here, they talking about the funk getting blasted on the net. I ain't know that myself, but yo, man, we got horns and baritones to deal with. Maybe some of them parts where people can come out more and add to the power of your sound needs to happen. I think that's what the boom needed. But it was playing in the Southern's hands in a gym and trying to like outblow them. But I did still hear the difference in dynamics from the boom, and difference a little bit more in articulation and what they were playing. And of course, I just always think they sound better just because, they're just not that horn happy sound that Southern is just traditionally known for. I don't think Southern's clean. And I think a good percentage of the time you pick up what they're playing in the chorus. Yeah, I mean, Drew Hill, I love Drew Hill's band songs. They got hella band songs. And Southern played "We're Not Making Love Anymore." I didn't like that arrangement. You know what I mean? I didn't really like, and really thought that it really brought it out, kind of like how traditionally they blow their slow songs. But I thought their lack of musicality just kind of showed. But you just kind of expect that. But like I said, I just think the boom kind of fell into the trap, playing a lot of the get crunk, super rap songs with like the long tuba breaks, and you just stand around and like hold your horns up and be like, "Look at me. What you gonna do, dog? We louder than you, dog." Like, that's starting to get on my nerves a little bit. Play something. Show me. Let me hear something. You holding your horn. Anybody could do that. I mean, but it is what it is. But I wanted to hear more marches, just more range of musicality in a small setting, to be like, wow, they're playing a lot of stuff over there. We, however, are just blowing our faces off. I really thought they could have. I thought they could have won easily like that. But Southern, however, still good and still thumbs up doing what you do, but a lot of hanging over the cracks, missing notes at the end of the phrases. You don't have to end on a high note, just end on the right note, y'all. I mean, I see people wanting to be at the end and be squeezing down and be it sounded like that. Like, nah, just hit the right note at the end. That'll be the bomb. You know what I mean? But yeah, I still thought it was exciting for bands. I just hope we see a little bit more technicality out of our bands, which should have been the calling card for articulation and precision, like I know the sonic boom is to be. One more analogy before I give you the mic, Rashad. It seems like Jackson State has taken like this Calipari approach, where it's like we got all the 5-star recruits, you got all the McDonald's All-Americans, you know what I mean, but putting them together at the end of the day to win, it's going to take maybe some time for those things to mesh. When we march in the stadium in the big numbers, you see all the tubas, you see all the horns, you see all the baritones. It's that Kentucky factor. You know what I mean? It's that factor like, oh, like look at us, we bad. You might as well go because on paper we demolish you. You still got to go out and play. You still got to go out and perform. But it's hard to say who won the gym battle, and I was hoping that somebody could call us who was there to see like who was the crowd kind of favoring, who was more there, Jackson State or Southern. But just in the crowd, Southern definitely started out like they were winning, but I felt like Jackson State matched them up, and then the rest of the parts was just blowing back and forth, like other than the Spodioti Dopalicious Angel, which was really, really bad, stuck out how bad it was to me. That was kind of like my final analysis of that. What you think, Rashad? What do you think about the Battle of the Bands on Friday?
Oh, man, so much to say about that. I'm going to give you a little bit about what I thought about the bands themselves, and then talk about the event itself.
Okay.
So starting with the bands, immediately after you go on the fifth quarter, and just like you were saying, you see that a lot of this, oh, man, Jackson State just got blown out. They got embarrassed. They need to go. Jackson State people were just saying they caught it hell. Watching the video, I didn't really see that. I will say that I did think that Southern got the victory on that, but by no means was it a landslide victory at all. I honestly thought part of my negative that I'll get into the event itself, I really kind of got tired of hearing the same thing over and over again by both bands.
I agree. I did too, man.
Just like you were saying, there was no diversity. I mean, it was just blast, blast, blast. You gonna blast? I'm gonna blast. You gonna blast? I'm gonna blast. I mean, it was just the same thing over and over again. And I really got tired of hearing. And I was kind of disappointed by that. But there was definitely no band that we just demolished the other band. And to me, that was Southern's battle to lose. Okay?
Yes.
Because Southern everybody knows that both bands are pretty much right at that same volume, pretty much. Maybe one is a little bit louder depending on the song, but Southern has got better arrangements across the board. But they didn't play those songs that have just been turning heads. Yeah, the We're Not Making Love was good until you got to the end where you completely lost the trumpets. Like everybody's hating on Jackson State's trumpets, but Southern's trumpets it sounded like they just stopped playing at the end because they couldn't keep up with what was going on behind them. The only time that you can hear the We're Not Making Love No More is every other chorus when the baritones come in and speak that as well. But the songs like They Don't Know by Joe, or Bohemian Rhapsody that they played at the beginning of the year, the songs like that make you say, my God, Southern, what are you doing over there? They didn't play those songs.
Did not play them. Yes.
I don't know why. That was the time to play it, So it left it basically, it allowed it to be an even match. Even they played the one song that was a nice slow song towards the end. I was like, oh, wow, that's really nice. And then Jackson State played the exact same song right back at them. Now, initially, Jackson State's performance of it was much better, I thought, and that's simply because, from an arranging standpoint, Southern started with the baritones on the melody, and that's fine if you're playing something nice and sweet, the baritones on the melody, but if you're trying to play something that's more articulate in a soft volume, you got to have your trombones on, because it just speaks better. And when Jackson State came back and did the exact same thing, but put the trombones on the melody, it spoke a whole lot more. But then everything after that was definitely not as good as what Southern played. And really, that song is probably what really gave the Southern the edge to me. I was okay with Spolioli Dopalicious. Southern played this other song, though, where they would just come in and would go, seriously? It's like 200 people playing three notes. Going back to Jackson State, my man, you at Jackson, man. Maybe you can help me to understand. Like, what are the tenor drummers doing over there? Anytime there's a drum break, like, as long as the whole band is playing, it's all good. When they enter the percussion section, gets a break, it's like the bass drums are cool. Dum, 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 dum. The snare drums. But the tenor drums are like, what are y'all doing? Like, the stuff that the tenor drums are playing doesn't make a lot of musical sense to me. I think
what's funny?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your point.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. What's funny?
Well, what's funny, I guess, and this may answer that, but this is an old the old tale from the annals there of the Jackson State Band Room and on campus here of our tradition. But War and Thunder, one of the reasons they got their name was because far away, it sounds like a war. That, far away, you may not necessarily be hearing a beat play, but you hear maybe like some type of a lot of automatic weapons and some type of like War and Thunder. You hear war, you hear thunder, you hear a lot of mass hysteria, basically telling you get the hell away. You know what I'm saying? It's like Bosnia over here. Yeah, I mean,
right.
That's what I've always heard. So maybe their tenor drum, maybe that effect is like maybe some traditional in there. Like I know, was it a guy, William Bethea? I believe he's at Norfolk, but he was there when I was there. Oh, okay. Okay, well, he was there when I was there, so I'm not sure if that pattern was the same. I'm not familiar with the guy there now, but when you talk about that musical sense, that's the main thing I thought about was, War and Thunder. That's how they got their name. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it definitely sounds like that, man. It sounds exactly like that. It doesn't sound like they're trying to do anything in order to get the crowd into, hey, feel this pulse, feel this beat. I'm trying to get you hyped until the winds come back in again. It's just like, let me just play a bunch of notes and just do it. I wasn't feeling the tenor drum parts at all. And that's also another, if you match up the two bands who are very evenly matched, that is something that hurts Jackson State a lot more than it hurts Southern. Okay. So that was my matchup as far as the bands themselves are concerned. Now, as far as the event was concerned, I honestly, Joe, I'm probably different than most people out here. I did not like the event. And let me tell you why. I guess I'm kind of spoiled because, you see, a matchup like what we saw on there, to me, that's a fifth quarter. That's not a battle of the bands. That's a fifth quarter. A fifth quarter is, okay, we're the two of us are going to play songs until we run out of songs. That's a fifth quarter. A battle of the bands, as far as that nomenclature is concerned, as far as what I've seen, is different. And I don't want to throw this band's name out there again because I don't want to get anybody thinking that I'm a fan of any band over anybody else as far as leaning prejudice to them. But a true battle of the bands has been between A&T and Norfolk State. Now, the format is completely different. The two bands march in. They actually stand or sit on the ground. Instead, so that way the audience can really enjoy it a lot more. Because if they're on either end of the stands, it's harder to, the bands are going past you, not at you. And bands are not nearly as loud. Like, you got a good perspective of what the band sounded like from the guys that were on the center court. But I guarantee you it sounded completely different if you were sitting in the stands listening to the band. It didn't sound nearly as powerful because it sounds passive. Okay.
Yes.
The other thing, but you're going to hear the drums a lot more on that side. The other thing that they did is that it was a format to it. Like the play calling initially, to use your term there, the play calling was like WTF. Like, okay, you play this song and I'm playing what is that Maze feature Frankie Beverly song, Golden Time of Day. I think they played like Neck. and they played Golden Time. Jay, he back at them. The play calling was really awful initially. Versus in the Battle of Bands that I've seen before, it's like, okay, listen, first we're going to play a march type of song, all right? Then we're going to play like a real type of song. Then we're going to play something more dance girl. Then
like a little bit more structure. A little bit more structure.
Exactly. Then we're going to have our percussion section come out, and they're going to do something. We're going to let our trombones come out. So it was always a lot of musical interest, and they would really take a lot of time. Like when they did the dance girl song, like I remember Norfolk putting their dancers like on a like one of the dancers like on a big raft type of deal, and these guys with no shirts on were carrying her out there. Because I think they were playing Remember the Time. So it was kind of like this whole Egyptian thing. Like they really made a big production out of it. And so from an entertainment value, it was much more interesting from the average person instead of a band head that just is cool with just two bands going back and forth until they get tired. So I really didn't. I want both bands to look at that again and reevaluate that and do something better next year. And then also one last thing, and then I'm done. Joe, what was really going on with the announcing? Like, why were they just completely not paying attention to the announcer whatsoever? Like, Go ahead. I'll respond after you. There were several times, at least in the video. Now, granted, I didn't see the thing from top to bottom with no stops, so we missed some stuff. But it seemed like several times the announcer would be like, all right, Jackson, that was good. All right, Southern, hang on 1 second. Here it. And there was one time where literally the band director, whoever it was at Southern, was looking at the band. The announcer says, okay, Southern, hang on 1 second. The band director turns. You can't see the announcer, but you can tell he hears the announcer. He turns around and looks at the announcer. And the announcer says, all right, hang on 1 second. Please don't play. Because, if you play right now when I'm talking, that's disrespectful. And he just went right on. I'm like, whoa, what's up with that?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I saw our man Karamu. He actually marched in the band with me. He's actually a big time in communications DJ there in Jackson. I think he was supposed to be on the mic. His face is on the flyer, a dope flyer. But I don't think he was there. I hit him up on Facebook, and he said that wasn't him. So I was confused about what was going on. Then I heard different voices. The only thing that was consistent I heard was Boombox BOTB hashtag. You know what I'm saying? So, like I guess you said,
that's all they allowed him to say.
yeah. But yeah, we got our transition music going on for the first commercial break. But yeah, who do you think? If there was a winner, I guess I don't know if you said or not. Who do you think you would give it to?
Yeah, I'd give it to Southern by a nose.
Okay, yeah, I gave it to Southern by a nose only because it was their arena and the Boom didn't really. I wanted the Boom. They played the partition. Is that doop 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 doop? Is that partition?
Yep.
Okay. That arrangement, or I thought like how the different parts in there were that, I really thought if they could accentuate something like that a little bit better, or even like you said, if the structure was applied to what was going on, I thought Jackson State was going to be better because, like I said, in that indoor environment, we want to hear the technicality and the chords and how articulate and precise the Jackson State is. But they played in the Southern's, basket with that blow your face off stuff. Listen to the 90 Degree Show here with the first commercial break. We'll be back.
Hi, this is Thaddeus Dixon, Crab of 94 on the Sonic Boom of the South, graduate of Jackson State University, class of 2000. And you are listening to the 90 Degrees Show at the Marching Podcast Network. Need to write music and drill? Get it on the field. Outfit your band. Keep your administrator happy and still have a life. Encountering drama in the process, ain't nobody got time for that. Let block band music assist you with musical arrangements and drills to fit your band, and also the equipment, gear, and accessories to keep the visuals, music, and marching on point. Contact blockbandmusic@gmail.com. and see how this worldwide minority-owned business can uplift your band.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Hi, this is Avery McFadden, Jackson State University graduate, son of Boom Trump Funk Pound 1997. You are listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
I know that anticipation was coming up. You about to think they were about to come in blowing you out. I couldn't just do that to your speakers right into you coming back from the commercial break. But yeah, we'll let Southern bring us back in from the break. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show, Week 9, Boombox Classic 2014. Much love, much excitement to the great event. One of the greatest rivalries, I believe, in all of college. And we're here with our man. Sorry, I hit the wrong button here. Don't mute myself. Unmute Rashad. Okay, so back to the script here. We got another one of the matchups. We just finished talking about the Battle of the Bands that took place on Friday night. We now are here back to talk about the zero quarter, and if we'll get halftime in there, and then on the last break we'll talk about the fifth. And I wanted to talk and ask you about things to get better about the event, but I think we kind of touched base on that a little bit, so we'll probably just read a little bit more from the comments at the end. So here, and again, you're welcome to call in, 718-664-6025. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show, Week 9, Boombox Classic, Southern Jackson State, here on the zero quarter. Let me address this first, because this is what I saw, and I was like, oh, and this is to all the bands throughout the world. Just let me get this out here first. Before the Boom, and play on them while they march in. The folks, okay, let's get there early and let's play on the Boom marching in. Okay, I'm going to break it down. I am here to tell you that does not work. Okay, it does not work. Nor does anything make it, only thing that really does, I guess I can say, I'm trying to formulate some thoughts because I'm so hyped up about this. You know what I'm saying? It only makes the Boom angry, okay? So before I say anything else, don't plan to stay or play like 5 or 6 songs. If you want to play on the Boom like that, plan to stay to the end of the semester in the stands. Just plan that, okay? That's number one, okay? Number 2, it is mere science that we don't get all of the intensity or all of the sound when we're so low to the ground and you're so high in the stadium, okay? More of the sound and the wind is hitting the field and hitting the other side of the stadium. So we're not getting it. I'm telling you, as someone who was actually there on the ground when a band was playing on them, or when Southern was playing them, because they were pretty scary in '97. It sounded low or somewhat muffled because their horns were like facing the other side of the field. So when we were playing, or when we were marching directly under them, they couldn't angle down low enough for their bells to hit us. They would be then hitting each other, or then, hitting the bottom of the stands. So you don't really, you muffle some of the sound. It doesn't throw a band off that much when we're marching in. Thirdly, the members of the Boom have marched Get Ready into series about 1,000 times before the first game. So a lot of that is muscle memory, and as long as we keep a pace in our head and you can count, we're going to keep marching. So no matter where, it's just not going to work. Save your energy. I guess that's what I want to say. Save your energy and the songs we've already heard you play already until the game or until the 5th when it's a final, okay? I remember the what's funny about this, Rashad, is I remember in 97 when it happened, we were like, whoa, what happened? Because we weren't expecting it, and it made the matchup that much better. The funny part was that year, Alcorn did it. Where's my little sound effects here? Alcorn did it that same year because it was so exciting, and most folks heard about. Yeah, you see how late it was. Most folks heard about it, and they decided to do it. But of course, they're not as loud as Southern. So with a muffled sound already, we didn't know what they was doing. I even heard the piccolo solo when Alcorn was trying to play on us. So please, like I said, save your energy. It doesn't add up. All right. Now, I'll get into the zero quarter. I thought it was pretty cool. There's so much tradition and fame with the matchup, and then like the actual game out there. I didn't really see another band winning, but again, it's kind of piggybacking on what you were saying, Rashad, about the just blowing back and forth. That's basically what the zero quarter was. I thought that the Boom, again, I was expecting marches. I was really expecting to hear us show off our technicality, but we, again, seemed like the continued kind of blow-at-your-face thing that we already saw in the Battle of the Bands. I have to give props to both bands' programs because the repertoires for both schools are pretty good. I didn't hear a lot of the same song this weekend. And then for sure, since we've done Southern and we've talked about some of their songs we know that they haven't played even all of their songs that they could have played other than Purple Rain. Y'all can let that rest. Let that cool for a little bit. A couple weeks. You can put that one away and let it rest. But I have to give thumbs up to both programs. You got a lot of memorization, a lot of songs in the book right now in the end of October. So that's really, really good for those story programs to have. But the zero quarter, again, it was I feel like the crowd was already hyped from the event, maybe hyped from a little bit from last night. So I didn't see too much of a discrepancy about the zero quarter. I think what was more important is the, playing on Jackson State. And even how they were angling, like, Jackson State going up the ramp, let's angle it. That doesn't work. For all the people that don't know, it is a spectacle to see when all of the individual band members hit the little corner and point. I myself, don't let no one else told you this, I'm saying this on the air, I invented blowing the kiss at the camera and then hitting the turn and the point. Ask the Weary family, that's James Weary. All of you Boominati people know the Weary family. Go ahead and get the tape. Joe Beard, Crab 97, blowing kiss at the camera, hitting the ramp. Okay. Again, it's not working. Too much tradition, too much pride going on over there, and WT is cranking series. Again, the people that have the war going on 20 miles away, they are playing series, and it's probably so much muscle memory going on in their mind that band is not moving that beat. No matter what people are playing, we're not losing series. That is a definite heartbeat of the Jackson State marching in. So I don't know. Bands need to probably stop doing that. So that's all I have on the zero, man. What about you, Rashad? What did you think?
You got to bring me in for halftime, dog. I didn't see anything on the zero. Was that on the fifth?
It was on Garrett's channel, Garrett Edgison's channel. He's got the zero, and he's got And shout out to you. But I mean, like I say, you didn't really miss much. That was the only difference that you saw, was that you saw Southern playing on Jackson State as they marched in, and they continued to play on them while they were marching in. That was the only thing different. Once Jackson State got in the stands, and again from the video that we saw, they were playing, more of like, the battle of the band, rap songs back and forth. If someone was there and say that Jackson State was playing the marches, or if there was more that we're missing, please call us in and school us on and let us know what you saw and what was there, the mood of the crowd, mood of what was going on. But yeah, again, that was on Garrett's channel. And shout out to him now. He's getting so to the point he's blowing up. Him and Gerard were there on the field behind the goalposts during the game. So, you got to have your media passes and all of that to be on the field during that. So now they've gotten the prestige now where they're being recognized, being on the field, there to videotape the media. So shouts out to those guys. But yeah, Rashad, like I said, you didn't miss anything. It was basically a little bit of an extension of what went on Friday night. I think, of course, Jackson State towards the end, they play their traditional, we came to play and all that. Southern then were playing more songs out of their, rap songs out of their repertoire. So, like you said, maybe didn't miss much. And then, again, I can't say per se off the zero who won, just because it was the same thing back and forth. But while we have this extra time, let's go ahead and get into halftime. You said you were there. You saw Florida A&M and North Carolina A&T. You said you saw the fifth?
Yeah. Oh, I thought we were going to halftime of the Boombox.
Well, I am. I was just asking you, since you said you saw the fifth, we could take that to the last segment. I'm just trying to parse out our time for what we got on the clock now. So, man, let me give you the floor. So let me go ahead and give you the floor. Tell me what you thought about halftime here in the Boombox Classic.
Okay. Let me see here. Let me start with Southern. So they did their, traditional drum major entrance, and that was cool. And they went into, what was it? Da 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 da, and they played that 64 times. And that hurt the show to me. That song, whatever, I guess 16 measures of that there was, that was killing me. I was so sick of hearing that. I thought they did some good drilling. I thought Southern had some great ideas. I faulted them a little bit as far as how the show came together. Like, I thought the drilling that they did was cool. I think the announcer could have done a better job of telling the audience that this is good. There's some things that you do, the audience just knows that that's good. Wow, that's amazing. There's some things that you do that the announcer's job is to tell you that this is good. Like when in Jackson State show, before they went into the more difficult part of their drill, the announcer specifically said, watch us do this amazing, never-before-seen drill.
Yes.
So you're like, oh, okay, that's amazing. But when Southern was doing their stuff, the announcer didn't tell you that that's amazing, so it was kind of like, oh, okay, they're making lines and playing this. I did like they made the whole breast cancer awareness thing. That was cool.
Yeah.
And they broke into a song. I can't remember what it was, but it was really cool. You really could feel the power of the band again. And then right after that, I was like, okay, so they're changing into another song now. Seriously? Oh my gosh, I was just so sick of hearing that. So, I thought they marched well, but I thought that in the halftime score for all of us Southern fans who believed that Southern had just given up making the halftime score. I saw it coming. I was like, are they about to make the halftime score? Because they're a whole lot bigger than they used to be. Can they still do it? And they made the score. So that was cool. I mean, there's always good props to Southern for being able to do that. The only showstop band right now that's doing that.
Is there anybody that actually does that? Southern is the only band that I know that even does that at all.
I'm pretty sure that somebody from FAM would talk about how they used to make it back in the 1800s.
Right. Or somebody from Tennessee State, because Tennessee State will tell you too. They done pioneered some stuff too. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. But the dance girl song was cool. I don't remember what it was. The dance routine I thought it was original for them to spell juke on the field. My only thing I think they need to fix with that is if you have juke on the field and you take a straight line to go across the top, it actually spells joke.
I was just about to say that. I was just gonna say that. Joke, y'all joking yourselves.
Right. I think I got it, you know what I mean? But for a lot of people who may not necessarily know, oh, this is a human jukebox, they may be kind of confused by that.
Exactly.
They do need to take that super line and move it up a little bit. But I thought that was very original for Southern, because they're always breaking to their squads the same way. So they definitely did some new things there. And then to turn around and face, I don't know whose crowd, I guess they were facing Southern's crowd, because it was at Jackson. It's kind of surprising that they would turn around and play JS Who to Southern's crowd. It would seem like they would want to, I don't know, maybe then again, maybe they didn't want to diss Jackson's crowd to get booed. So it was cool. It was original. Once again, with Southern Show, I thought they had some really good ideas. I just don't think, like, the timing of things, the announcing at the right place, when things hit, and that drill song over and over again, it wasn't like a stupendous show. Everything you need to make an awesome cake, but maybe not cooked quite long enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm saying that because I just had some awesome cake. Now let's talk about Jackson's show. So starting out, they really began to get house because, the Jackson crowd was, of course, upset by the whole JSU thing. So when Jackson came out, they were hyped for them, and the drum major entrance was really cool, got the people going. And then, of course, they got out there. Instead of doing blowing, they went right into the, get ready.
Right.
And then they did the drill. Joe, here's my thing about Jackson so far. I don't think that Jackson really, I don't know, do you guys, do you get up for people? What I mean, do you say, oh, man, here comes Southern, here comes this band, here comes that band, we got to make sure our show is tight for this particular band? Because I feel like that's like in the stands. Jackson is saying that, oh, in the stands, man, we got to make sure this music is tight. For the show that they did, okay. I mean, they did this, this drill, and it was supposed to be all never before seen, but it wasn't anything particularly interesting. I thought their marching was good, but marching good is not good enough. You know what I mean? If you're going to a competition and you're trying to win and saying, we want to have the best marching band, okay, the judges can tell you who marches better, but the crowd needs to see a general effect, which is a combination of everything. You got to march well, but you also got to be excited. And I didn't really see them do anything that was so unique that was like, wow, that was so much better than Southern show. Versus Southern, even though the components didn't come together quite right, if you go back and you look at all the things they did, you got to hand it over to them and say, wow, that was a creative show they did.
Yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying. It's probably two things for that. One is, one of our traditions is we laid back in the cut. So even when we super excited, we laid back and we driving on the 220 and our seat is reclined all the way back in the back seat. You know what I'm saying? That's just Jackson State. I remember a really good friend of mine, Chad. I can't remember Chad's last name, but Chad went to Jim Hill. He's from Jackson. He went to Southern though. And Chad, I can't remember his last name, but him and I were very, very, very cool. But he always would make fun. We always had the Jackson State Southern kind of dialogue going back and forth. Well, we went to Mardi Gras one year, and him and his boy Roy, I'll never forget this, he had a homeboy named Roy, and then it was me and McFadden from the network, and then Ron Duplessis, another one of my crab brothers. When we would go to the mall or when we would be at our parades, the three of us would be laid back, chilling in the cut, walking, checking out New Orleans, what's going on. But Chad and Roy were like super erect, straight up and down, and walking fast, military style everywhere. Had to be on point, had to be on schedule. Choom, choom, choom. So I definitely think there's like a tradition style where, and to answer your original question, yes, the game we get up for is Southern. It's the Boombox. That's when crabs are scared, and that's when all the upperclassmen is on their stuff. It's really, really hype going on that week for Southern. It's Southern week. It's Southern week. That's all we heard. You know what I'm saying? But I tell you, I think the answer to the question also is not only are we always laid back in the cut, but our template for our show needs to change. For me, my excitement was the drill. The drill was dope, yo. So I was like, oh, look at the drill. And, of course, it's the rest of our boring template that, okay, then we got the J-sets and then the dance regime. But our crunkness, I'm sure, was in the drill. All that emotion was harnessed into practicing and having that drill to be on point. And I was excited to see it because you know me, I like the kaleidoscope stuff. I thought Southern's drill was good too, but Jackson State's drill was like the best I've seen in a long time. And again, maybe it's philosophy and styles, but I think to answer your question, they put that emotion in the drill and not so much into the template of the show. That needs to change.
Yeah, because I think when I say getting up for it, it's like I don't necessarily mean like how well do you perform, but when I mean getting up, I mean it's like how do you, as far as the planning of the show, that's what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about getting up for another band, is how do we put this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing together to make sure that this is absolutely the best thing that we can do and something that the crowd is going to love. And I just don't feel that. Like if I didn't know it was Southern, and I just watched every show that Jackson State did this year, tell who they were playing.
Yep, that sounds about right. I mean, Southern is the exception. Southern, we get excited for Southern, and you're also a little worried if you go to Southern because you're fearful for your life. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's going to happen to you actually when you're there on their campus. But no, I mean, you're right. It's partly our laid back attitude, that laid back tradition. We just always in the cut. Man, you excited? Yeah, man. That's Jackson State, man. Another play on that. When we first started doing the show, and I was trying to touch base and let people know, like, hey, man, I got this podcast, 90 Degree Show. People were really not even really hearing that I had a show. They were just hearing I was from Jackson State. So the common joke, I'll go ahead and find it. I'll go ahead and help the people. I can laugh at myself. Folks were saying, hey, man, are you going to listen to the 45 Degree Show? Because, we don't know. Because, Jackson State, they say Jackson State, we don't march 90s. Because, we too laid back in the cut to be too intense about anything. But that's just that tradition. I just think that's what it is. You're not going to see us overly excited. Maybe you're going to see some good energy on the dance routine. But no, you're just going to see us slouched over, with the poom swaying, no matter who we against. But I think a lot of that energy, like I said, was put in that drill. Because we love the drill, and that drill was really, really good. I was excited. I was excited to see it.
What was it about the drill? Because I'm missing it. Like I try to look at things from a band head and also from a regular person's perspective. So I'm looking at one band, and they're doing a lot of really interesting things. I'm talking about Southern here. Like, okay, that's cool. I don't really know. They're making lines. Okay, why should I be hype about lines? Oh, they're cool. Oh, wow, they made breast cancer awareness. Oh wow, that's cool. Oh, they made the halftime score.
Show.
Oh wow.
Score, yeah.
They just blast. Oh, they made joke. Oh, they just made and then they ended. They played JS Who. Oh wow, that's really cool. So I see all that, and then I see another band, and they come out there and they've got some really they made some straight lines and stuff. I don't know. I'm not sure why I should be excited. So tell me, what was it about the drill that got you excited?
Well, probably for me because I like that type of drill. I think like you always call in like the step 2 drills. I love the kaleidoscope. For me, that's like the very first thing I want to see in the marching band is on the halftime show, the formations you make and how straight they are. So the drill going first for Jackson State, I always pay attention to the shapes that are being formed, the transition into the shapes, and for me, Jackson State's always had that kaleidoscope look. Like, you see a little bit of structure and then it formulates into something, or you see like one mirror effect on one side of the field and you see the reverse on the other. That's always been exciting to me. So when I see new versions of the kaleidoscope, I get excited. Or if I see something that I haven't seen before and I'm like, oh, okay, that was a good drill, and then the actual execution, if the execution is there, then the excitement is there for me. So I thought that not only Jackson State's drill was difficult, but I also felt that they executed it well. Southern's drill was really good too. I mean, I think doing the score at halftime is like legendary. I don't know anybody that's doing it, and I think Tom Joyner should be bringing that up on his radio show, or anybody else that's talking about anything else about, what we ain't doing. What do you know about Southern doing the halftime score? You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. I even liked how it was parts of Southern's drill I didn't like how they had, it started out with the four triangles at the top, then it went into the company fronts, and then the triangle kind of went down to the bottom and rose back up. That stuff to me is like the bomb. I love seeing that type of thing. I just thought Jackson State's was better. I thought they had a better kaleidoscope reel, or tripping out on shrooms, if you will. That's supposed to be a joke.
Wow.
Like where you have the little, kaleidoscope effect, or the psychological, the mushrooms turning colors, and then next thing you know, it's a pencil, and then it's writing something on the ground, and then the ground turns into grass. Something that where it even like a fireworks show, that type of thing. I think Jackson State and Southern exemplify that, and that drill for Jackson State was on point for me. Let me get to the chat room because I wasn't paying attention to the time nor the chat room. The brother, the thoughts, or the person, the thoughts, boy or girl, I apologize. They thought that Southern should have had better articulations from what they heard this weekend. I stand corrected about Outkast and Spodioti Dopalicious Angel. I guess it's been a new variation from Beyonce. Beyonce has a Spodioti type of joint, and I think somewhat in my mind I may have heard it, or that sounds familiar. So maybe to Southern's credit, the articulation or the arrangement I heard favored more Beyonce song versus Outkast song, even though it still feels like Southern was still mad. I don't know how mad Beyonce was in that song. It still felt like Southern didn't get the pulse of that song to me. I need to hear the Beyonce joint to verify that. Thanks for the thoughts, for clearing it up. Like we say, this is a show for the people, so people got to, let us know what's good, what's going on. The name of the song is Flawless by Beyonce. It samples Outkast's song. That's why Jackson responded with Beyonce's song, The Partition. Okay. Appreciate that, the thoughts. Nice. He also says, was there any improvements made by either bands from Battle to Game Day? Well, let me just do mine right quick about Southern. And then I'm going to ask you that question, Rashad, and then we'll probably have to go to the commercial break. I thought both bands was the full value of the ticket. I thought both bands performed halftime show well. Southern, love the tradition, but hate your drum major. Horrible salute. Get that out of here. Or make something new. It's horrible. And you know what makes it so bad is then you followed up by the Jackson 5, which totally wipe out everything you doing. I saw one guy on Facebook said, what one man can do, 5 have to do at Jackson State. And it was really funny. I know, it was really funny because, man, let me tell you, we ain't one person at Jackson State look like that. Let me tell you. I did love their drill, like I say, Rashad. Like I said, I love the step 2s or the kaleidoscope effect or the changing shapes and patterns. I thought the drill was perfect. I thought some of the execution was a little off. We usually see Southern a little bit more precise than that. But still, it was,
mention your man that missed that line there.
I was just about to say. I was about to say we did see a couple of mistakes out there, but still overall the drill I thought it was still good. I think, like I said, like it came down just really to the execution. There's nothing. I jump around here talking about the halftime score. That's like thumbs up, legendary for me. I don't know who else is doing it or who started it, but it seems like when Southern does it, it's like an ace in the hole. You got to put them like on top when they do that. Other than the lack of execution, I thought that that their drill was going to take Jackson State out. I thought that their dance routine was okay. Dance routines, I don't know. I'm starting to get like, dance routine, okay, it's hyper energy, but I don't know. I thought that, like you said, I think that maybe we're putting too many people on the field. The fact that they had to have a line over and under the word juke, I don't think that they needed that. They could have maybe put those people on the sidelines or something. But like you said, it looked like joke to some people if you don't know if they're the human jukebox. And then, JS Who, I thought that was very, very original. And not original, but I thought that was clever. I thought that displayed a really good part of showmanship. And then, coming off to their side of the field with that, just because you knew that we were going to do JSU, and it's like, hey, JS Who, to us, So, very good for Southern. I just thought that Jackson State's drill, I was just excited. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. I thought their drill was better. You can't compete with the halftime score. I mean, you just can't compete with that. I just thought Jackson State's drill was better, but it was the type of drill that you had to respond based on the drill that Southern put out there. Then again, the dance routine was just okay. I thought they still had good energy. But just really super kudos to the drill. And because of that lack, and another thing too, I think that we put too many people on the field. I know probably, everybody wants to see their child on the field and everything, but the JSU, I loved how we went into the JSU and single individual letters. We did that myself when I was there at Jackson State. To the rock and roll song, hey, da 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 da, hey, and then we did the JSU to each letter. They did that same drill to a different set of music, but it's still executed well. Again, to the drill, I just don't like the line and I'm about to start calling the Talladega dressing around the formations. Like maybe we need to put those people off the field. Just keep the 128 on the field on some of those formations, just so it just doesn't add. It's starting to look crowdy, in my opinion. But like I said, it kind of reminded me of Talladega on the spot. It was hard to pick a winner, but slightly I gave it to the Boom because of the drill and because of the mistakes that I saw there. It's Southern. Again, the halftime score, you can't compete with that, so I was expecting them to finish the deal, but with the mistakes, and then with Jackson State's drill, I got to give it to the Boom, but definitely give them props on the showmanship. And again, about the zero, I know you didn't see that, but I think you're playing in the Southern's basket when you just playing these loud rap songs at them, getting the crowd hype, or even some type of competition. You need to start showing the technicality. The Boom should have been more articulate, and we start hearing the different parts like Rashad is saying, so we could be a little bit more successful here as far as the zero quarter is concerned. You got anything more to say, man? Looks like we got the commercial break coming up here in a second. You got any more to say about the halftime with halftime here with Southern and Jackson State, Rashad?
I don't know, man. I'm sitting here trying to decide if I think that you're being biased. The halftime score is legendary. You can't do anything to beat that. And I thought, I think Southern, they did perfect. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, they did a great show. It wasn't perfect. I mean, one person messed up, so therefore the Boom wins.
Hey, man, the drill, man, the drill was so different. The level of difficulty, the execution, that's what made it. That's what gave it the edge to me. You know what I mean? Especially marching up against Southern. You say what now?
I'm gonna have to watch that drill again.
Hey man, I love it. I mean, and it's just, hey, it might be a personal thing, but hey, that's folks can call in and let us know what they think. We'll take this last commercial break. We'll hear about A&T's fifth and the Fam's fifth. We'll hear about Jackson State's fifth and Southern's fifth, and we'll wrap up the show. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show, Week 9, Boombox Classic 2014. Keep it locked, as they say.
Hi, this is Chris Jones, owner and founder and creator of March Aerobics. My website is cj@marchaerobics.com, and you listen to the 90 Degree Show in the Marching Podcast Network. Now get your legs up.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge1 Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
What up, bandheads? Are you looking for a talk show about HBCU marching bands? Well, look no further than the 90 Degree Show, brought to you by the Marching Podcast. Every Sunday during the football season at 8 p.m. Eastern, we recap the most intriguing battles of the weekend and give you, the listener, an opportunity to voice your opinion on the battle by calling into the show and talking with our panelists. Are you ready for the only interactive show in the world for HBCU marching bands? Then check us out Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com/marchingpodcast. The 90 Degree Show, the interactive HBCU band podcast show. Hey, bandheads, this is Christy Walker. I'm alumni of the North Carolina A&T Blue and Gold Marching Machine and one of the creators of the fifthquarter.com, and you are listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
Back in the final segment here, the 90 Degree Show. That's Jackson State. I think that's Lady Gaga or something. I don't know who it is. I really like the song. I always thought it was a band song myself, but I think like 666 Mafia or the brother from 666 Mafia got like a little verse on there. Rashad, you know the name of that song, man?
Oh man, just ask me.
Is it Lady Gaga though?
No, that's Katy Perry.
Oh, okay. Hey, let me get myself straight. I don't want to. Dogport.
Darkport.
Okay.
Like
I'm glad I know now.
And then something you're right.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. I appreciate that, man, because I don't want to get it all mixed up and saying Lady Gaga when it's Katy Perry, and he don't know none of them songs. He just saying it's any little Kim Basing or somebody out there. I don't want to, I don't want to confuse any signals out there. We love national sponsors too. 718-664-6025. Thank you for calling in. Thanks for listening. A lot of folks in the chat room tonight. It's all love. And we got great people like The Thoughts and Southern Mind to correct a brother when he's out here swimming and drowning, obviously. Dark Horse by Katy Perry. Southern Mind, thank you very much. They actually have a question here. We actually had a couple questions. Let me get into these first, and then we'll talk about the fifth from A&T and FAM, and the fifth between Southern Jackson State. Southern Jackson State fifth was a little bit more of an extension of what we already talked about. But the Thought Southern Mind and Thoughts. Let me go ahead and give you guys a little time here. The Thoughts had a question about improvements made by either bands from the battle to game day. Rashard, do you think, well, first I'll ask you, do you think Southern had any improvements that they made from Friday night to the game on Saturday?
That would be impossible for me to say nearly, because I didn't see anything that happened during the game other than the halftime. And so to compare, how a band sounds from 50 feet away versus how they sound from 100 or 100, 200, 300 feet away, I can't make that comparison at all.
Okay.
The halftime versus battle of the band.
Right. Well, just based on the videos that I saw as far as improvements, I think maybe, and I don't know if this was an improvement or not, but definitely it made a difference hearing them both in indoors and then hearing them both outdoors. Like I said, Southern, man, I definitely heard a lot more rolling over in the cracks, a lot more squeezing the cat, as they somebody squeezing the cat or pulling the cat, I heard a lot more of that. Or just people wanting to end.
Coined another term. That squeezing cat.
I mean, it's come on, man. That's not. I mean, it's they want to end on the highest note ever. The phrase has to just end on the most succulent note of all time, and it's just just play whatever's on the paper. You know what I mean? That's all we need to do. I didn't hear as much of that outdoors or on the fifth from Southern, and I'm sure too that indoor was exciting. I'm sure that added to your emotions. You probably had to calm yourself down a whole lot more inside, because not only is your sound, but the crowd too, their yells and their cheers are bouncing off too. So maybe that has something to do with it. So yeah, I didn't hear as far as Jackson State though. I think it felt like they got louder over the weekend. The fifth felt like the last song that they played, the last couple of songs was louder than anything else I had heard all weekend. Or I felt I was just impressed with the stamina of both. Some people on the fifth were saying that they could tell that both bands were tired or they heard the fatigue. I didn't really pick that up. I felt that both bands were strong throughout everything. I was just a little bit more amazed at Jackson State's range, just from their difference in dynamics and how they were able to keep that intensity throughout, and then in the fifth to sound like they were louder or to keep that intensity. I felt it was pretty good. I felt Southern's intensity is always at a 10. And then they have breaks in their music where you're supposed to think they go into a 12, but they don't get really too much louder. That's kind of the other part about Southern that kind of hurts them. They're fortissimo all the time, or fortissimo, whatever, and they have breaks where they're supposed to be louder, or maybe they have their drummer stop playing, or maybe where it sounds louder, or maybe the intensity is much more, but they don't change loud. They just always super loud. So they were that 9 throughout all weekend, whereas I felt Jackson State was at that 9 to match them, but you could hear how they were getting stronger. That's what I was thinking about as far as the thoughts. Southern Mind.
That really is.
Thank you, man. I notice it now just because we weren't that nasty and loud and Southern when I was there. I mean, we were scary musicality. We had power. We had the fan power. You know what I'm saying, and we had that articulation. Now the Boom, with all them baritones and horns, boy, they scare me sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So it was just obvious to tell that they've really adapted that style and are running with it. And also too, maybe that recruiting, they're probably recruiting some strong boys out there, strong young ladies too, strong women as well. Southern in Mind asks, what are your thoughts about the tempo at which Jackson State played some of their songs during the Battle of the Band, especially Golden
Time of Day, particularly?
I was just about to say, especially Golden Time of Day. What do you think about that, Rashad?
I didn't have a problem with the rhythm. I mean, I thought it could have been faster, but I don't think I didn't necessarily have a problem with that.
Definitely Southern Mind, and this is Southern Mind, like Southern Mind. That's just Jackson State. Lay back in the cut. They are going to cheat on as many milliseconds in the beat as possible to lay in the cut. That's just always Jackson State. I go back to when we were at the Mardi Gras. My two homeboys, Chad. I swear I can't remember. I don't remember Chad's last name, but Chad and Roy was walking so fast. I mean, they were, Southerns, erect, tough, chest out men. I'm gonna put you in the face. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they were walking through the mall. It was like, man, y'all got to chill. You know what I'm saying? Y'all walking ahead of us. Like, you know what I'm saying? We were having them tell them the guys to slow down. So I think that's maybe what it is. Jackson State, we going to slow that tempo down as much as we can.
And then when they slowed down, then they stopped and shook real quick and put their heads on the ground, right?
No, they were like, man, y'all need to hurry up, man. You just don't know, man. We got a schedule, man. We got these bands coming on. Bands don't be waiting for nobody. That's what they kept telling us, man. And we was like, nah, man, we chilling. But I think it's that cut. It's that Jackson State laid back, in the cut type of thing. Rashad, let's go ahead. We'll give Southern Jackson State a break, and then we'll talk about them at the end. Tell me about, because I didn't check it out, but tell me about what you saw at Florida A&M and A&T this weekend.
So we arrived in time in order to see the fifth quarter, and Joe, I think that you would have been very pleased if you are saying, I want to hear some marches and I want to hear some musical diversity. You would have been very, very pleased with this fifth quarter. You would have been disappointed that it was very short. It was probably a good 5 songs back and forth that we could hear. They got out of there. FAMU was they put on their, I forgot the term that you used, but it's like when the band is putting on their shekels and get ready to march out, and so you play a song on top of them.
The hammer song.
The hammer song. Like, okay, so FAMU started putting on their stuff first. So you look at A&T, like, oh man, here comes the hammer song. And then they start putting on their stuff. You're like, oh man.
No.
And that's so unusual. Growing up, just like you going to Jackson State, with me being in North Carolina, even though I didn't go to A&T, I've known A&T for many, many years, and their hammer song was always Skin I'm In. It would always, as soon as the band starts packing up, you hear, oh, and you knew that was it. And Skin I'm In is 5 minutes long, so the band would be gone by the time they finished that song. So for them just to leave, it's like, okay, but it's homecoming. The band's been up since whatever time in the morning. Probably had a pep rally on Friday. It's kind of understandable. Anyway, getting into it. FAMU is nearly perfect on marches, Joe. Like, nearly perfect. Like, balance is phenomenal. Articulation is phenomenal. Blend is incredible. They're nearly perfect, man. I don't know what it sounds like on the videotape, but to my ears, man, I was like, wow, that's amazing. And A&T was answering. They didn't play it in marches, but there are some bands that they don't necessarily have to play a march because the songs that they play are very complex.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's not necessarily accurate, but it's not like they play, like I remember back in 2000 where Norfolk State was playing something very complicated at them, and then A&T responded with Cold Hearted Snake.
Right.
It wasn't that. They played, I think they played, the Take Your Time, Do It Right, which, was a very good song. It was very intricate. Mm-hmm. Both bands found it really good. It was close, man. I had to sit there and process it for a second to determine who I thought, because both bands really played some very difficult things. One of the high points of A&T's performance was that Unstoppable, which was the song that they have ended their shows with at the Adrian Carroll Battle of the Bands and also against South Carolina State. So, it starts with, like, tubas and baritones on really low diads, and then the trombones start coming in and doing, baritones have the something like that. And then the trombones are coming in with those really, really low tones on the instrument. So it's a really tough arrangement. So they play that, and then FAMU ended their performance of the day with I always want to say this, stopping at the Savoy.
Oh, I've heard that. Yeah, okay. Oh, damn, I didn't know that's what the name of that song was. Okay.
I might have it wrong. I think I get it wrong every time, but it's one of those old songs, man. Dude, then once again, it was nearly perfect. And not only did they do a great job of playing it, but watching them play it. Because at the end, they go, and when they're doing that, like every person in the band moves to their left and then moves to their right, like a very little bit. Like, I mean, it's very extremely little. It's very tight when they do it. So when you see them do that, you can't help but get hyped. You're like, man, that looks so cool. That looks awesome. So I will have to give the victory to FAMU. It, again, was not a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. Both bands had very tough arrangements, a lot of diversity in the sound. You know, it wasn't just blow, 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 blow. I mean, you hear a lot of good stuff, but you did hear some blow now. Don't get it twisted. What you didn't hear is any of the rap songs and things, which I think that if the fifth had lasted longer, I think we would have gotten into some of those things, because I think that's good as well. If you're an audience member, you just don't want to hear Stopping at the Savoy. You also want to hear the latest, Let Me Get Hype About This Song. But we didn't get a chance to hear that. But I think that FAMU, it's tough to say, because FAMU's arrangements are more conservative than A&T. As far as like a range perspective, like A&T, their arranger is going to put you out there, on some really difficult things, particularly as far as the range is concerned. And so it gives you the ability to miss a whole lot more than with FAMU. But unfortunately, that's just how it goes. You don't get, we talked about this before, you don't win because of your efforts. You don't win because your music is hard. You win because your music is hard and you execute it
and you
well.
Play it, yep, and you can execute, right.
So I
That's
have to give the
outstanding, man.
to FAMU.
That's outstanding, and good for them. I mean, that makes sense. We don't know what they did for the halftime, but we have talked about both bands this year, and we talked about how FAM is getting back, but they're very clean, very accurate, and I think it's a really good word, that conservative sound, and very conservative in their arrangements. So, and it's really good that they're then still displaying that musicality, which is something that I think we should have done in the gym battle. And definitely in the zero quarter. We've got to show the world and all of these other bands that you're not going to smash brick us. You know what I mean? That's part of who the Swacky is, and that's your flair. You know what I mean? That's your guy in the band that can play in the altissimo register, or that's the guy on your basketball team that can do all the amazing type of dunks. I get it. That's the flair. But you need that musicality, you know what I'm saying? You need to display that range to show back, because that scares bands too. If Jackson State would have been playing much more of these marches or much more of these things, Southern wouldn't have known what to play, especially if they would have got the hint after a while. It's like, dang, these guys probably going to play the next 40 minutes with this technicality. They would have probably played Bohemian Rhapsody, because, that's their, little out-of-the-box thing, but they wouldn't have had anything to move on. Or applying that structure you're talking about, if the band's like, let's play this march or let's play this, I don't think they structure would have kept up with them. So props to Florida A&M and the MEAC and A&T for, keeping that cleanliness. And that's something I've always enjoyed about the MEAC, especially when you're seeing those smaller bands, because they can't smash brick you. The Savannah States and your Morgan States, they can't come and Jackson State you. You know what I'm saying? They've got to be clean, they've got to be accurate, and they've got to have a good show so that you actually see the quality in their band. And I think that's important, man. So right quick, let's get into the fifth, and then we'll have to close the show out after that. I think we've talked a little bit about what people said on the web, so to speak. For the fifth, it was still a little bit more of an extenuation from Friday. I just at least wanted the Boom to play like some marches. I was just waiting for some marches to come out. I just didn't hear it. The first song the Boom played back in Southern, though, there was some parts where we could have accentuated what Jackson State was all about, but it sounded really bad. There was like a tuba part, there was like some runs in that song, and it sounded really muffled. I think there was like a tuba part in the beginning of like the first song they played back or something, but it sounded very muffled. It didn't sound, very as clear. And then the ending was kind of, I don't know, maybe they just got that song this week. But again, that articulation, if we've been playing them marches, I think it would have separated us a little bit more. But Can't Stand the Rain was really, really good by Southern. But then the play calling to Southern was really like a tale for me the weekend. I thought that Southern and Jackson State both came with their A game. And I thought Southern put something out there that was good, but I really felt Jackson State did a good job of answering it, other than playing into just, just trying to be as loud as Southern. I thought that they responded well, just like what they did with the drill, how they responded with the drill. And I thought that the play calling there, You Send Me Swinging, back at that particular part, was like pretty a deciding factor for me. Because they didn't play anything different from Friday night. You know what I mean? It was still at least top 40 tunes. But again, giving the props to both programs, these kids know a lot of songs. They memorize a lot of songs, so you can't deny that. No one, Tom Joyner or anyone, can deny how much effort and how much time these kids are putting in.
We definitely got to see Jackson State and Ohio State have a fifth quarter.
It would be short. It'd be about 15 minutes, and it'd be hella hammer songs.
It would be short on one band side. Hopefully, the other band would stay there until for the next hour, just playing by themselves.
Yeah, or just playing for playing for the Ohio crowd. That would have been dope.
Exactly.
But yeah, there were a lot of, and the fifth too, and this is another thing. There were a lot of, and this is why I think Southern kind of took an L with the fifth. Southern played Get Crunk songs. It was you already spent that ticket. Why they didn't play Bohemian Rhapsody, why they didn't play anything different really surprised me. But a lot of the songs where you got a long tuba break. And then you sitting around dancing and you talking to your crowd brothers. Man, what's up, man? We gonna kick it tonight. Let's do it. Let's go. We crunk. We hype. Let's put up our horns. You know what I'm saying? Please kill that. Please play me some music. I don't even hear what you saying when you holding your horn up, and I don't even really know what that means, cause y'all ain't cleaning y'all horns either. So it's not like they shining when you hold them up. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to get rid of that.
Joe, I meant to mention that at the beginning. Like, I think it was like the very first show. I was watching a battle. I think it was Southern and somebody else. I think it was maybe Southern and Alcorn, I think. And when did every song in the SWAC have a tuba break?
We got a tuba break right now, Rashad, in between us talking. I
mean, even the song, like, and it was just like what you're talking about as far as Southern not really playing the hype songs. Like, whatever happened to what happened to that song? That could have been at the Battle of the Bands. But even that song's got a tuba break.
Yeah.
Why? Well, every song don't need a tuba break. I am definitely against every song having a tuba break. I like songs that go all the way through,
Yes, and that bleeds the way for people to start singing. And that's what I was really upset about. Southern, please, you are the last band in the entire galaxy to be singing. Southern does not need to sing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're Southern. Just play something. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, maybe even just let the horns play, because they'll be loud enough to be just like the band. Just let them play something. But please, stop. They got to cut out, especially in between, like in the fifth, when you're really, really trying to battle, or I guess trying to test someone's book or your musicality, and you got, like, these huge drum breaks. So definitely Southern, and maybe it's the lack of, their book or the differences in their book, I thought that the play calling kind of hurt them again in this particular part. But good thing for Jackson State, because they had already been beat over the head so much by these type of songs that it was already to the point where it's like, okay, Southern, we've already heard all of that. You don't have anything else. You know what I mean? So that's why I kind of gave the Boom the edge there in the fifth. What do you think, man?
I didn't see it, man. But if they didn't play, once again, Bohemian Rhapsody, they don't know. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't know. Do they get hyped and learn a song really, really well and throw it away? I don't know. But if they weren't playing that stuff, I can't say who had the victory, but I can say it probably would have been hard to just overwhelmingly take the victory if you weren't throwing out your best stuff to really make you sound different than other bands.
Yeah, Jackson State didn't have that same tuba break. They were playing full songs through and through. I went back to the chat room. Oh yeah, they didn't have any like tuba break stuff they were playing back. They were playing more songs. Like the last three songs for me, that's why I felt like Jackson State was getting louder on them. I felt that they really took the cake. Again, because Southern's playing these breaks, but Jackson State's playing full songs. Going back to the chat room, Southern and mine saying Southern needs tuba breaks because of all the high notes they're playing. And speaking of high notes, what are your thoughts on tubas playing those high notes on one of those songs? I think it was played in the fifth. I'm not sure about the song Southern Mind's talking about, but I do know on the Lil Jon IDGAF on that song, man, I don't know if they screaming or what, but whoa, 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 you know, and they're just whoa, 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 whoa. That's dope. I mean, that gets me super, super excited. But I don't recognize any other songs where they're doing something like that. I think Miles has a song that they play this year during their during their Dance Girls, where their tubas are playing like at these high levels. It sounds good, but I guess like Rashad said, it's got to play into the arrangement, so to speak. And it didn't jump out enough with any other song that Southern did this weekend, other than the Lil Jon song of this the songs with the high tuba parts. You know, any songs come to your mind, possibly Rashad? Will you recognize any high tubas or that they're coming out? Sort of mine.
I remember there was one where I was like, wow, they are pretty high, and it may have been the song that you're talking about. I think it sounded thin. Nothing wrong with a tuba on a high note, but it's easy to cheat on a tuba on a high note if you're not filling up that horn. If you fill up the horn all the way through with sound and then take a high note, I'm impressed. But if you're just blowing through the horn and not filling it up, playing a high note, that's not really impressive. I mean, a lot of people have to do it.
So
I think they need to buy some brass tubas.
So right quick, Rashad, you say you can cheat on a tuba? I guess playing those higher registers?
You can cheat on any brass instrument. And for what I mean as far as not filling up the horn, you know.
Okay. And like pinching the sound out of me, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. You're pinching and blowing the air through the horn and not filling up the horn, the whole horn with air. It's easy to cheat on tuba like that.
Yeah, it's funny. You can do that on trumpet too. The only problem is you won't be able to hear it across the field. Like or you may not be able to hear it like 5 feet in front of you, or depending on where it is. Like, you may be in the stands and somebody next to you may have heard it, but it's like, man, ain't nobody. I don't even think the band directors heard that. You know what I mean? So that's why I was kind of seeing when you saying if it was easier to cheat, maybe can you have a little volume with like a cheating tuba and a higher register? That's why I was asking the question. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about, because I'm one of those trumpet players. Like, I play trombone. If you give me the trumpet, for about a minute or two, I mean, I'm crazy. I'm just epileptic. But yeah, you can't hear it.
Right.
It's a little bit different of a concept. I mean, they're putting air through the horns, definitely, but it's just not. It's a different, thicker, richer sound when you actually fully fill up a tuba with sound. It doesn't sound like blah 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 blah. It's boom 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 boom. It's like that. Boom. And that sound, if you do that, is going to be huge.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll definitely be keeping our mind out for you. Thanks, Southern Mind, and thanks to the Thoughts for your comments here in the chat room. Much appreciated. Definitely helped us with the show tonight. We're getting here to the end of the show, Rashard. To give you a time to close out here. Anything on the radar? Anything you got going on with Block Band Music and Publishing, or even anything from this weekend from the Boombox Classic?
Okay. Just real quick, we did go to A&T Homecoming. We saw the end of it and watched A&T's tunnel that lasted 40 minutes to get back into the band room at the end, where the alumni were coming in by the decade.
Yeah.
But the main thing I thought about, man, a lot of things I thought about. So I'll be brief. Number one, show-style bands are still the best-kept secret in America. It's been my pleasure to introduce my girlfriend to this world, and to show her everything that's going on with this type of stuff. Because nobody, people outside of what we know in the South and band people in band, they don't even know that this is happening. But it's my pleasure to introduce her and seeing the drum line move back and forth, and even people are dancing through the tunnel. However, the other thing I looked at is how many people that were there. There was at least 150 people right there in that area. It had been more than that, about 200 people right there in the area. And I looked at the political and the financial power that we have. That's we've got to start coming together to support these bands. Not just showing up and playing the drum and going home, and I'm talking about my school too. But I'm talking about giving back. We've been talking about 100 for Hampton. 100 for Hampton ended today. As far as, let me say, it ended as far as me collecting money. Now, if anybody wants to send money, we'll take it, but I'm not actively seeking it anymore. But I'm proud to say that in just over 2 weeks' time, that's all the period of time that we've started. It's been 2 weeks that we've started 100 for Hampton. We've collected $1,260 in 2 weeks.
All right, man. I saw you with the thumbs up on the Facebook, man. But congratulations, man.
And the thing I'm excited about is that that's only about 17 or 18 people.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. That's not even until this just grows on. Just like the show, you're about to have about 25,000, 30,000 up in there, man.
Exactly. So we're really excited about that, and I hope that people who are listening to me on the radio show are getting excited and say, you know what, I need to do that for our band. We need to raise more money, and not just be excited, and because it's not enough to be excited and talk about your band being better than the other one. That's not enough. If you want to see your band be good, you got to get back to them to be good. It can't be up to the band staff to keep putting out this great product, and the rest of us are just spectators. Once you graduate from band, you have to, now you're another part of it. Now you are at the part, now the band succeeding is not about you playing your instrument. Now it's about you giving your money and giving your time back to these band programs to make sure that they continue to thrive and continue to put out the best product and the best secret that in America right now.
I'm really glad that you said that, and I'm really glad that this has kind of been the theme for this year. The thing that I think about is on Sports Center, and I'm always relating stuff to sports, but, when they talk about the football coach is potentially leaving, or, there's an opening at quote-unquote USC, and just because there's an opening there, you're worried about your coach then leaving to take on that job, or then the coach's agent, they wiggle something through the media to say, oh, he's potentially thinking about it. Well, what does the school do? Well, then the school, in turn, figures out and raises money to either up the coach's salary or to give him some type of signing bonus. Now, this is semantics for us, but just to extrapolate that idea of their love for their school and an athletic competition so much that they're raising millions of dollars just for a guy in a suit or a guy in a chair just to stay there, just so that their program doesn't experience that change and lack of consistency. It's the same thing for our bands, where once we graduate, we then become the boosters, or we then become the J.R. Ewing, so to speak, of our program. We then, in turn, need to start greasing the wheels here and there so we can get what we want, too. It's the exact same premise. All these people are doing is giving back to their schools being a part of their local alumni chapters, making sure they give some type of annual donation to the school, 100 for Hampton, 100 for whoever. Make sure you're giving back, because that's how all of these people really have money in the world. It's because their alumni is cycling that money back. Let's go ahead and amplify even our bands, even if it's not about our schools per se. Let's start sending that money back, even if it's a little bit per month. Make sure that you're giving back, so that your program has the platform that it can sit on. With each help from each one of us, we'll be fine. We have each other's back. We just need to continue to support ourselves. So I appreciate that, Rashad. I'm really glad that you really started to bring that up this year. Something we definitely need to bring out. Right quick, let me read. I wanted to read a couple of the comments. A lot of people were posting hashtag Boombox BOTB. A lot of folks were basically giving the W to Southern on Twitter. I wanted to read a couple of them. One guy, Devious Angel, said JSU is trying to outpower SU. They normally have finesse on golden time of day, but they are playing hard AF. ... Calm down. One guy said the band world is on. The same person said the band world is on fire right now. These live posts from the Boombox are giving life. There was a lot of good things being said, both back and forth. But yeah, definitely to check those out and to read all those. Get on Twitter, hashtag Boombox BOTB, and and you can read some of the comments. Again, they're both from both sides. One guy said, "If Southern's band don't send they behinds down, SMH, y'all should have time to came in here silently as late as y'all came." So apparently Southern showed up late. And there was some talk about that as well. So, again, go on Twitter to check out that. Rashad, go ahead, and I guess I'll end the show. But, again, another great show, and looking forward to getting up with you next week. We'll go ahead and tell the world now. We're going to work on this in the future, but we're going to try to make sure that we have some female ladies of the 90 Degree Show, or a female representation, and we'll get that out here this year. But I know I'll probably be hollering at you this week to try to get that worked out for the month of November. Anything else going on with you, Rashad?
Oh, yeah, man. Well, so this past week, Block Band hit 200 arrangements sold this year.
Outstanding. I would hit the applause, but I can't play two things at the same time. So, outstanding. I'll go ahead and clap it up right quick. There you go.
It's the real one.
Hey.
I take your real applause here today, man.
That's what's up, man. Well, all right, man. Well, I'll holler at you this week, man. And thanks again. And we'll be hollering at you, man. Have a good week.
Oh, and this old man will be heading to homecoming this next Saturday, so I'll need some being gay for the show. I might be hurting a little bit on the show Sunday.
That's what's up, man. So, hey, man, we'll be happy to hear from you, and definitely hear if anything going on at Hampton's halftime there. Who do y'all play?
I don't know. I think it's Morgan State.
Okay. Well, hey, that's a decent little band, couple of decent little bands right there. So it may be a little something, man. So I'll definitely be hollering at you this week, man.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
All right, take care. Again, thanks again for listening. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor or the patron to the Marketing Podcast, please contact the show and we'll give you the criteria to start to pub your business using our platform. We'll play your commercial, we'll post your website on our blog, and we'll help send out your information through social media. So contact us so we can help build your business. That is all the time we have for the show tonight. Thanks again for listening and calling in. Check out the website and donate what's in your heart to themarchingpodcast.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Thanks to you for listening. Remember, the lectures you may deliver may be very fine and true, but I'd rather get my lessons by observing what you do. See you next time.